السلام عليكم مرحبا صباح الخير مساء الخير كيف الحال كيف اليوم إن شاء الله أنتم بخير اسمي فاطمة and today is day 10 of VEDA. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it, but we've made it to day 10 and we're finally in double digits. Today's video is going to be about listening comprehension. So we'll go over listening comprehension and then I'll also go over the information on Lingko and the books that I have as well. So inshallah, everything goes well with the recording and you're able to hear me just fine. You know me, I like to start off with our definition of listening comprehension. So listening comprehension is the ability to understand spoken language by interpreting and constructing meaning from auditory text. It's a complex process that involves hearing, understanding, and responding to what's being said. It also requires the ability to identify phonemic, 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 phonematic, phonematic, yeah, information, recognize words in speech signals, and understand the semantic and syntactic aspects of language. Oh my gosh, that was a tongue twister. But yes, so basically, I want you to understand that listening comprehension is complex. It's not something to be taken lightly. I know that a lot of people talk about comprehensible input, or if you're learning Japanese, like all Japanese all the time, where you're just listening, listening, listening. Or people will say, oh, I learned English as my second language from watching movies and TV. That definitely can be true, but there are other things involved, no matter what people are saying. I definitely feel like if you, for instance, move from one country to the United States and you have to learn English, you're learning it, yeah, by watching movies and TV. Excuse me. But you're also reading signs. You might be doing different things that require you to have your focus in different places outside of just listening alone to learn the language. So for me, the best way that I have been comprehending Arabic through listening comprehension has been through these drills that I talk about all the time in these particular modules. So I want to go through the dashboard today to talk about it so that you can kind of see it for yourself. So the first thing that we'll work through really would be vocabulary, and then we'll have different drills all the way through, as it relates to what you learn in the vocabulary. Also, when it comes to vocabulary, I'm not just reading it, I'm actually listening to it. As mentioned before, we have formal, so Fusha, aka Modern Standard Arabic, Al-Shami, which is Levantine, and then Musri, which is Egyptian. So if the word is the same for all three, then there will not be an option here and it will be in black. And then if there are some differences, the color may change from black to blue. Excuse me. But you'll be able to hear it from multiple perspectives, and these are native. So it's amazing. I love the fact that it's native. So for instance, let's listen to literature.
الأدب.
Al-adab.
والله.
Wallahi, really?
والله.
Wallah, really? So for me, when I first heard the word wallah, like for instance, my husband will always say to each other, like, say wallah, and so for me, I always like to say wallahi. I don't know why.
والله.
Wallahi. I don't just say wallah, I say wallahi.
الأمم المتحدة.
الأمم المتحدة. الأمم المتحدة.
أي.
أي. الأمم المتحدة is United Nations. A is which, and then we'll listen to one more.
جنسية.
Jinsiya. So as you can see, like I'm listening to the word, I'm reading it as well, and then I'm saying it. So jin, siya. So I know the short vowels here as well. Jin, siya, right? Um, and let's just do this one.
أدرس.
Edrus. Okay. So that's one way for you to do listening comprehension is by like actually having the vocabulary list out if you're Al-Kitaab has the vocabulary on a companion site or DVD. Hopefully you get a chance to listen along as well. And then you also would have drills in different ways as well. So like vocabulary is one thing, and then now these are different forms of the verb to work. So ana, anta, anti, huwa, hiya. This is I, you male, you female, he, him, she, her.
أعمل
أعمل
تعمل
تعمل
تعملين
تعملين
يعمل
يعمل
تعمل.
تعمل. Now, as you can see here, أنت تعمل and then هي تعمل, the same word. So it's important for you to have good listening comprehension to see what other aspects of the sentence or conversation that you can comprehend. Or if you're watching a show, like, are you talking to a guy or a girl in this case? And if you are, then you know who this reference of to work is in play with. Also, we have, let's see. Okay, so this is a good one right here. So I really like this one because this is like vocabulary sentences and another form of activating the vocabulary. So we'll listen to this one. So in a sentence, that's what fi jamila, jamal means. And then this al-fusha. So it's letting you know this is going to be in fusha.
أدرس الأدب الإسباني.
أدرس
أدرس الأدب الإسباني.
أدرس الأدب الإسباني. I study Spanish literature. Now, as you can see, we learned in the vocabulary I study, and then we also learned as well, like while I was chatting with you guys about literature, right? So we learned this already, and that's to me is another good part about taking your time to build your vocabulary like we discussed yesterday. This will help you as well with listening comprehension, because when you're listening and you hear a word that you know, it makes you tune in even more. Yeah, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and all that other jazz. But for me, what's really helped me with listening to different shows, even kids shows, is by having some vocabulary under my belt so that whenever I'm listening, I'm actually like engaging and I'm kind of like looking out for and paying attention for words that I have learned before. Okay, let's do this one.
الحمد لله ما عندي فصل اليوم.
والله
الحمد لله ما عندي فصل اليوم. Wallahi, thank God I do not have class today. Or thank God, yeah, I do not have class today. Really? Like, that's so cool. Lucky you.
بناية الأمم المتحدة في نيويورك كبيرة.
So, one more.
بناية
بناية.
الأمم المتحدة في نيويورك كبيرة.
So, in that case, you're also listening for the word, and what your brain is doing in that moment is like, okay, these words are in different order, because what it actually sounded like in English would be building the United Nations. Yeah,
بناية
building
الأمم المتحدة
the United Nations
في نيويورك
in New York,
كبيرة.
big. So is not mentioned, you know what I mean? So like you're picking up on different things like, oh, the United Nations building in New York is big. Okay, but in Arabic, like saying the words, it actually is building the United Nations in New York is big. And then we'll do one more.
أي عصير تحبين؟
أي عصير تحبين؟ أي عصير تحبين? So juice and tuhabin, we did not go over that in the vocabulary list, but my ustada did provide us with different ¿cómo se dice? Look, كيف تقول? She did provide us with handouts, like I mentioned before, as they're related to different vocabulary. And the pair for this is Al-Kitaab and Alif Ba. So let's go over to Alif Ba really quickly while I have you. So the modules, unit 1, oh, see, listening exercise. And this is going to be the entire alphabet in Arabic, so Arabic letters and sounds. So let's listen to one.
A,
Ah,
A,
ah. So that's alif,
B,
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 b. That's ba. And then they also tell you like when not to get confused. So what's one of the letters that I know they will say like don't confuse this one with this one?
Ka,
Ka,
ka.
ka,
Note the difference between ka
ka,
and ka.
ka,
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 ka.
ka. And so ka was this letter right here.
Ka,
Ka,
ka.
ka. Okay. So that's an example. Again, these drills are amazing. That will help you practice. And they also have opportunities for conversations as well. It's like this right here is like different dialects.
صباح الخير.
صباح الخير.
صباح الخير.
صباح الخير. They also have videos as well. Let me see if I can find any videos. Videos. Listening exercise. No. I wish I could see. So these are all like words, but they do have videos of with people too that I wish I could find. Let me pause this and come right back. All right, so now I found a copy or a drill. So it's not a listening exercise, but it's a drill. And this is an example of that in Levantine dialect. Bismillah.
تفضل.
تفضلي. I'm in.
مرحبا دكتور ابراهيم.
Hello.
اهلين استاذ سامي. تفضلوا. شكرا. كيف حضرتك اليوم؟ نشكر الله. وانت كيفك؟ منيح الحمد لله.
منيح.
فادي رفيقي طالب بجامعة دمشق. شرفنا بحضرتك.
So that was like an example conversation, and obviously the vocabulary is a little bit different than Fusha, but if you are interested in learning Levantine dialect, the vocabulary words were all there that we had already gone over, and that was an example conversation. So we have one more. I'll play one more. Let's do Egyptian this time. Misri. Alhamdulillah.
صباح الخير يا دعاء. صباح النور يا سامي.
Good morning.
ازيك؟
How
الحمد
are
لله.
you? I'm
ازيك
good.
انت؟ كويسة
And you?
الحمد لله.
I'm good.
أمينة صاحبتي طالبة في الجامعة الأمريكية. أهلا وسهلا. أهلا بحضرتك.
All right. So, yeah, that is an example of like listening comprehension. And then obviously there are more things that you can do to practice your listening comprehension, like watching beginner friendly videos that might be a little bit difficult in native content. That's why a lot of people suggest that you watch children's content, whatever interests you. I say watch content, even if it is for natives and way above your head. If you are into like different things like reality TV or game shows or whatever it might be, documentaries, watch them just to get familiar and comfortable with the sounds, even if you're not comprehending what is being said. But when you watch them and you get more familiar with the sounds, and the way that the sentences are structured, and then you'll be able to fill in the gaps, inshallah, whenever you begin to build your vocabulary. And we talked about that in yesterday's video. So anyway, those are the things that I have done in class and some of the things that I have done outside of class as well. as it relates to listening comprehension. So inshallah, this was helpful. If you liked the video, please like it. Please comment your thoughts and share this with someone who may also find this helpful, and subscribe to our little community. Until next time, folks, ma'asalama.